Today we are going to talk about compensation. We have talked about little bit of it in different sessions. What compensation is all about? What are the different elements of compensation? Today we are going to dig into more details, and we'll see how we can create different allowance plans, maybe using different kind of criteria, how we can add or how we can basically create eligibility, for example, eligibility criteria for a particular compensation plan. So this is the agenda of today's session. We are going to take an overview of compensation package. We are going to touch a little bit on the reports as well, then eligibility rules. We'll see how we can view the eligibility criteria of already created plans and how we can also create eligibility rules. Then we'll see different compensation elements, grades, and compensation packages. So what's compensation package? Compensation package is actually a combination of compensation plans and grades. So every element of compensation is actually grouped in this compensation package. Um, we can define different rules and in the system, and based on that we can maybe align certain compensation element with a particular group of employees. That group can belong to a particular location maybe, or a particular business unit. Whenever we generally create a compensation package, and then we add it in a compensation plan. So if we take a look of what compensation package is, so it has different components. First of all, we need to see what's the eligibility criteria for any compensation package or compensation plan. So we talked about job family and job catalog in our we did some revision in our previous session as well, and we also discussed it in detail in our jobs and position module. So job family, these are the different eligibility criteria that we can define. We can define it on the basis of job family, maybe job profile. It can be it can be according to management level. It can be assigned to a particular organization or a particular country, uh, maybe a particular location within a country. So it can be applied to anything, whatever we want. So for example, let's say um, customer service staff maybe, or maybe let's say sales staff, and we want sales people to get a particular commission. So commission plan is something that we can link to let's say a particular job profile or a job family. So this is one of the examples. Similarly, let's say management level, so there is a uh, particular bonus plan that is available for management staff only. So we can also do that. We can create a particular plan for management level, and we can create that criteria. And whenever we'll hire someone on that level, that that bonus plan, for example, if we have defined a bonus plan for management level, so that bonus plan will automatically get linked to that individual. It can be similar to stock plans. Maybe any organization might be giving stock plans to different people, but let's say for a managerial level, or for maybe uh, like middle management, there is a different percentage of stock plans, and for a senior management there is a different percentage of stock plans. Again, we can define it in the compensation package, and we can make it like we can link it to that particular level. So these are a few of the examples that we can do. Maybe some people are working on an hourly basis, so we can have hourly plans and we can link those hourly plans to, again, particular jobs. It all depends. So we have to define these things in this eligibility criteria, and we'll make some rules based on what plan we want to link to a particular uh, criteria. And then all these so over here it's just telling us that what are the different kind of criteria we can have, and what actually makes the compensation package. And then these are the, so overall these all are the elements of a compensation package. And again, of course, because these all compensation things are actually processed by payroll, so this all this information is actually going for the payroll. So review of compensation. Compensation is structure includes compensation grades, plans which are grouped into compensation packages. Um, Plans can be set up as percent, amount, or unit based, and can be configured to allow override at time of hire. Compensation eligibility rules can control the compensation components of which employees are eligible. Compensation can be populated during staffing activities using defaults from position or through eligibility rules. So this is the same thing that we just discussed. So before I go into that, because we talked about over here about this uh, like plan, that it can be a percentage base or an amount base. So let's just take a look of how it looks like if we are, for example, making a bonus plan. So let's try that. So over here we are just giving a try to create a bonus plan. Again, bonus is one type or one element of compensation package. So let's say we are, for example, making it effective from the start of year. So we have two options. So for example, if I know that let's say if my company has a policy that all employees, for example, will be given 100% of their salaries as a bonus, for example. So it means that that's a percentage based amount. Or if my company has a policy that they have a set amount that they give to all employees, so I can make it amount based. So let's try with a percent based plan. So we are over here, we are creating a bonus plan. So let's say we are just giving a sample name. If we want to add any description, we can do that as well. Now it's actually giving us different options. So what kind of uh, like what element I want to use to calculate this bonus plan. Let's do it again. So let's say I am using base pay. So we want to see that, so it's something created by, so let's say if we check what's the total base pay. So total base pay is the workday delivered compensation basis and is the sum of all the salary and allowance plans that are defined as base pay. So we are taking this base pay. Now if we have a set percentage, let's say I want to use 100% here. I can use any currency. I can even use, so let's for the sake of showing, I was selecting different currencies. Let's just do USD. How frequent I want to give it. So let's say we are making it annual. Uh, um, if we want to create any eligibility criteria, let's see if there is any criteria created. So you see there can be different bonuses that like there are different conditions created. So for example, let's say if someone has passed any specific certification, so based on that maybe someone might get eligible to get a certain allowance or certain bonus. Maybe there might be something based on a criteria related to family. There might be any other thing. There might be let's say if I have um, for example, I want to make it explicitly for, let's say, um, a specific company. So I can create that as well, that if a person belongs to a um, particular organization, then only he or she will be eligible to get. So I can create that as well. Let's see if it's, so let's try and create. So we are saying that it's right now we are making it eligible for all employees. Or waiting period, if we want to create. Okay, so I want that anybody in my organization who is completing 1 year should be uh, should get this bonus. It can be 3 months, it can be so there are different waiting periods defined here. So let's say uh, I'm selecting 3 months from hire date. So anybody who has completed 3 months would be eligible for this bonus that I am creating. We can also align it with, for example, if we, there can be two options. So for example, there can be an individual factor, maybe there can be a company factor. Again, it all depends what policy as an organization I have, and based on that I can define those policies. As I mentioned, so over here we have selected all employees. It can be something else as well. There are some uh, like you see there are some other checks as well. So for example, uh, over here I have defined waiting period, but in case for any reason I want to include uh, employees, active employees in waiting period, so I can click that as well, although I have defined that. But maybe for example, and in a particular year, let's say uh, for any reason uh, companies deciding to give bonus to everyone regardless of the joining date. So maybe like HR wants to override that waiting period, so we can do that from here. So let's just, so this is our, we have uh, created this bonus plan. Similarly, create allowance plan. If you want to create a particular allowance, it's the same thing, and that's what we read there, that it can be unit based, it can be percentage based, it can be amount based. So that's another example. The process of creating the allowance will be pretty much same that we covered. So let's get back to a presentation. Okay, so there are different, like we can like there are compensation changes report. There are again uh, in overall Workday environment, there are few fields, reports, and processes that are Workday delivered. There are some standards already delivered by Workday, but if a company wants to have, or maybe the company's policy a little bit different, and company wants to have a customized version of that, so we can do that as well. So let's try and show directory by job profile. These are the different reports that are uh, available in the system. So what it's telling us now, we have actually picked a certain like a certain family, or a number of job profiles, and now it's actually telling us that these are the people who are having this job profile in the system. So there are 12 people right now uh, who have one of these job profiles that we have selected. So it's actually giving us a directory, whatever is available in our talent in those particular job profiles. So people who have been assigned these job profiles, we can see their record here. Similarly, if we want to, for example, take a look of so this is the job catalog. So all the profiles that are created here, so this is the catalog. So these are the Workday delivered standard reports that are available. Similarly, if you want to see compensation grade usage, we can check we can check that as well. So um, so the overview of compensation, why we need to understand what compensation is and what's the purpose. So basically the purpose is that uh, compensation basically helps us to track both like individuals information on individual level as well as enterprise or company level. There are different plans and grades, again, as I mentioned, that are grouped in compensation package. It provide guidance or reference to pay range. We talked about it in our last session as well, and so we create generally different pay ranges for similar kind of jobs. So let's say there is a financial accountant, we can have a certain pay range for financial accountants with, for example, X number of years, or maybe um, for having certain degrees or maybe some certification or experience, and we can club it and define a pay range. There will be a minimum value, there will be a maximum value. Again, we can have different profiles and we can use it for different locations, and based on that we can have different pay components as well. So what are compensation grades? Again, compensation grades provide reference to pay range. So let's take a look of. So over here we can see what we selected. So we selected management grade, and we can now see what's the pay range defined for management level position, for example. So over here we can see that the pay range is from 95,000 to 155,000, and then in that they have actually further like divided into different segments. There might be different criteria that why we are calling it segment one on top. So there might be some different criteria defined. Uh, and but over here, the purpose is that we are over here understanding that the compensation pay range of management level employees are is basically is from 95,000 USD to 155,000 USD. So you see the segments that were defined there, we can do that as well. If you want to create a certain compensation grade, we can do that as well. If we want to further use, like do the grading thing under compensation, like further define the grades, we can select this one as well. Over here we will again over here we can define. So we can create a grade name. For example, let's say uh, for example, I just want to have this defined for particular country. What should be the frequency? Let's say I'm saying it monthly. Now I want to define the pay range. So I can over here I can define the pay range, that what would be the minimum, what would be the maximum. If I want to divide it into segment, I can do that as well. Let's say I am putting here let's try again. Maybe there must be some ranges already defined. That's why it's not allowing us to enter that. So let me try one more time. Okay. So over here we have defined this compensation pay range. The minimum is 20K and the maximum is 55K. And the midpoint is 40,000. Again, that's just one example that we have created. We can have as many grades as we want for maybe a particular job profile or maybe a job family. We can also, for example, let's say we want to restrict, let's say, a pay range for a particular location. So we can define that, for example, financial accountants in the US or maybe in Michigan, for example, uh, their salary range can be between 20 to 55,000, for example. And how we are doing it, we are basically doing it based on, of course, our budgets, our like our research, our working, that uh, this particular type of resources, their pay range can be this much in this particular location. So we can make grades, we can define these based on using different criterias, and we can actually link these different criterias. So for example, one criteria could be location, another could be the management level, another could be the job family. We can club these and then come up with a certain plan for that particular uh, compensation grade. Again, as I mentioned, it provides ranges and references, and then we can assign a different we can assign different grade profiles to particular workers. So let's just also um, take a look of, for example, um, so that's one employee. So there is a certain profile, job family, and in compensation, if we check, so you see that there are different benefits or there are different incentives that are mentioned here. So this particular employee is actually eligible for all these allowances and all these things. So over here, if we want to see uh, what what are the plans that he actually is part of, so he is eligible to get salary. Then there is a seniority allowance that he is getting. Of course, there might be some criteria defined behind that, how this seniority allowance is being calculated. There is a merit salary, so 3% annual, 15% annual bonus, uh, and he's also a member of stock, so 5% annual stock. So these are the different, again, all how from where this all is coming from. So he is having a certain grade profile. He's part of a particular compensation package, and then the this is the same base pay range that we just defined, so it's in euro, and this is the range that is defined here. So he is part of global modern services, probably so that's for France. And then within that company, these all uh, like compensation elements are defined there. So uh, let's take a look of this as well so we understand. So these are the members of. So over here, it's actually showing the summary of this. I basically want to show you the uh, let's see here. Okay, so it's actually showing us the comparison of actual versus target. So there is no one in this grade. Maybe we can check something else. But the idea over here is to share that we can view different like compensation grade plans and packages information uh, through the system, and of course we can create one as well. It all depends that what policies your company has, how your company wants to club these different elements in the form of a compensation plan. At times, certain allowances and certain benefits are based on location sometimes. So again, depending on what sort of policies your company has, you can assign those grades accordingly. So these are the salary plans and hourly plans. It can be applied to FT, full-time employment. We can edit those salary plans. So the task name is edit salary plan, and then we can do that. So this is more or less the same thing that we did. So let's take a look of it quickly. Edit salary plan. So we want to see the salary plans that are already created. And if we want to make any edits to one of these plans, so it's already created. By default, it's the element is already defined. It's applied to full-time employment. We can mark it inactive. We can make any changes to it because we have actually accessed the edit salary plan task. So we can edit the salary plan. Similarly, we can also create a salary plan and assign it to a particular grade or profile. And then once we create these salary plans or merit plans or allowance plan, we can actually align them to a particular profile as well. So if we see, for example, a particular job profile, so this is a job profile. Let's just view this profile. So you see management level, this is individual contribution. Let's just take a look of compensation. There are no defined grades, but if we want to, we can do that defined here. So compensation by job profile level. So it's actually giving us a comparison. Then, for example, we can say survey data by country if we want to. So what we are doing here, we are actually checking system analyst profile, and we are checking the data by country. So for example, so this light green one is actually showing the actual, and the dark one is actually showing the 50th percentile. Now it's telling us that system analyst in Canada has this, like this is the range, this is the pay range, and for US this is the pay range. So if we compare both, you will see that the actual range for USA is more than Canada. But if we see the 50th percentile, it's like almost same. There is a small difference. So these are the kind of things, these are the this is the comparison that we can get by defining these compensation elements, and uh, and the data that we are putting in here, whether it's in the form of bonus, it's actually covering everything. So it's giving us a high level view of overall compensation. And again, these information can actually help business to take different decisions. So for example, if it really makes sense from business perspective to have system analyst in a particular location, if yes, then we should know that what will be the cost of system analyst. If we are going to hire X number of people there, then what will be the cost? So these profiling, these further classifications actually helps us to take those decisions. So again, if we want to create an hourly plan, that was a salary plan. We can also create hourly plan if we are hiring people on daily, maybe on hourly wages. Those people can be either contractors or maybe people who are like maybe doing a kind of work, but we are more interested in paying them on hourly basis, so we can assign them those hourly plan. Allowance plan, as I mentioned, that it can be an exact amount, and we are putting it there in the allowance plan, defining it as a fixed amount um, for all employees. If we want, we can also make it explicit for employee level, so we can use the override option, and then we can define it. Still, it would be amount based, but it will be different for different people. Or we can simply define a percentage. Again, if we still want it to be different for different employee levels, we can do that as well. And it can be unit based, so maybe it's if there is a job that and the payment is actually based on certain number of units, or maybe the frequency. So for example, let's say uh, an individual has maybe resolved 20 tickets on weekends, or any such sort of specifics, and based on that we are giving a specific allowance. So that can be an example of that. There can be some one-time payment plans as well. Maybe there is some, as mentioned here, signing bonus. Maybe someone has delivered something, so a company decided to give a certain bonus plan. Sometimes employee referral plans are there, and so it's a one-time kind of thing. And how we can from from execution perspective, let's say if we have an employee, and let's say we want to give him or her uh, a particular incentive that's not planned, that's not predefined, but we are giving in, you can say, as maybe as an appreciation, or as a uh, like something he has delivered, and we want to give one time payment. It's not something that he would get every time, so we can uh, execute it from here. Again, of course, there are very specific people who have this access to execute or to process this change. There they will be authorized to do that. So for example, if I want to let's say I want that employee, it will be visible to employee maybe on 16th. I'm over here, I'm mentioning why I am giving this bonus, signing bonus, it's a referral bonus, or maybe uh, an award, let's say, for doing something good. I may want to, maybe I may want to add um, any attachment or any email that, for example, I received from management. I can uh, add that as well. Let's say I'm giving $1,000, and then if I want to add any attachment here, I can do that as well. If I don't want to, I'll simply submit it. So this is just one time bonus that this individual is getting. So we can process such kind of things as well, depending on what's the requirement. So determine employees eligibility for each compensation during staffing. Eligibility is based on any combination of organization, job profile, location, and permission. So this is the thing. If you remember, like yesterday we run the hire process. So when we create a requisition, there is a specific job profile, and so in that job profile, basically all these rules are defined, and all the elements of that package are defined there. So this is all about compensation. Once you get the access, you need to view different compensation eligibility rules, try to create different things like different eligibility rules. So for example, a particular person is an employee of global modern services, let's say. So you can create a compensation eligibility rule using that. But one thing which is, I would say, a general tip is that whenever you create any customized option or any customized criteria, make it easy to understand the title of that field or that rule or any field that you are calculating in, you are actually creating in the system, and that's not part of Workday delivered element. Then you need to use the words wisely so that you can always go back and refer to those fields. It's actually for your own ease. So for example, if I am creating an eligibility rule, ABC, now if I will have to use it in future, I won't be able to recall that what name I actually gave. So it should be, so for example, if I am creating an eligibility rule that all employees who that are of global modern services, so I can simply uh, create an eligibility rule or give it the name like companies equals to GMS. So anybody who would view that would know that the eligibility rule is for GMS company. So any person who belongs to GMS would be part of this eligibility rule. So always be like focus and be direct on and be vigilant while you are creating such fields. It's always helpful if you will give it the right name, right title. It will always help you and as well as others who are using that same tenant.